Hello, baby. We're going to go for a walk today. Well, I am. You have to stay here. You can just stay here and you can catch the bugs. Yeah, you can do that. Hello, everybody. It's Nana Marie and in Quebec City. I'm going to take you on a little tour today. I always like to see other cities from real people. Have you ever been to the Palace Royal or the Citadel? We have so much to see. Right now I'm going to go and walk into Old Quebec Ville. It's about 2 in the afternoon and all of a sudden, it got cloudy and heavy and humid. But I'm going to still give it a go. I took the bus. Something is going on in Old Quebec Ville, I can see. This city just blew my mind. I come from British Columbia. It's 150 years old. And we usually tear down houses after 50 years because there's timber. Well, here, it's all stone. A lot of masonry work, if you know what I mean. And it's from 1610, I think. And what you may not know about Quebec City, Old Quebec, is it's haunted. That's right. I found out when I moved here in 2018. Suddenly I was healthy. I had lung cancer, I had COPD, and all sorts of, I was homeless, I was a mess. And got on the Greyhound bus from British Columbia to Quebec City. And I found myself walking a lot. And it was then I realized that I'm not sick anymore. I went to a doctor and I didn't find anything on my lungs at all. I thank cannabis oil and God. And it wasn't my time. Never give in. Never give up, because you don't know. And doctors, they're here to tell you when you're going to die. Well, they're not God. They are not God. This is an ice skating rink in the winter. This whole area, kids and, everybody comes to ice skate here. It's really quite beautiful. It is. Quebec City, it is the winter wonderland. If you haven't seen Quebec City in the winter, you haven't seen Canada. Okay, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, haunted cities. So when I got here and I found out I was healthy, I thought, well, maybe I can look for a job. And I looked on Kijiji and there was a job, and you're not going to believe the job. It was an English tour operator, tour guide for Old Quebec Ville, Old Quebec Ville ghost tours. Ghost tours. That I said, well, I'm a spiritual person. Let's go find out what these ghosts are all about. And I applied. And they send you a script. And you have to study the script and remember it, and then go in for an audition. And I did that. But what I did when I got the scripts, they sent me 7. So I read all 7 ghost stories. And went in Old Quebec Ville, applied, and I got the job. They were so impressed. But I ended up not taking the job for a couple of different reasons. One, bonjour.
C'est pour venir en aide aux organismes de la Ville de Québec.
Okay, merci, bonne journée. So, what was I saying? Oh, shoot. Get distracted. I got ADHD. So, what was it? It was the auditions. I did really well. Oh yeah, the first ghost. It's the whole reason why I was brought here to Canada, to Old Quebec, Ville. The first ghost was a doctor. Yes, yes, guys, it's a Frankenstein. The ghost here. His name is Dr. James Douglas, and he is the founding father of medicine in Canada. That's right, and he's the ghost here. What he did, he's had a house or some sort of a makeshift hospital here, and he had different doctors, I guess, from America. There was one doctor named Dr. Worthington who came here. He actually wrote about Dr. James Douglas and the ghosts that he saw. Okay, so Dr. James Douglas, what people don't know, was uneducated. He educated himself. He, as a child, used to kill animals. Yeah, he'd dissect them, animals. And then he started thinking about dissecting humans. And this is all true story. You can come to the ghost tour. You'll see it. And he had this sort of makeshift hospital where he would be doing his dissecting of humans. And the place ended up getting haunted. But what the tour guides were saying was that the ghost was Dr. James Douglas. I'm sorry, I'm so distracted. It's so beautiful around here. Anyway, it's a ghost town. And the first ghost, it's just amazing that I'm sent here by my guides and I'm getting this job. And I know it was to educate me, the spiritual way. And I didn't take the job because it wasn't enough money. It was $35. But it would cost me money to go, $20 to come into town in a taxi. I wasn't prepared for a job anyway, so I feel that the whole event was about me finding out about Dr. James Douglas in Canada. Look him up. You cannot dissect people. The place that he was residing in and had all these other students there to teach them medical procedures is haunted. You cannot dissect people. They will attach to where you are. We're spirits, and when things get so degenerate here, you're stuck here. You're stuck here. We don't die, guys. And if you're not emotionally sound, you're going to be remaining as a ghost. We merely go invisible. That's what my son told me. I am, he said. I am. But no one's listening. I'm talking to the chair. Yeah, we are. And we don't die. And listen to your own thoughts, your own feelings about everything from now on.
It's like a t-shirt because it's made out of a t-shirt. And last night,
I'm going to go for lunch somewhere. It's turned out quite nice. I was going to go to St. Paddy's Pub, but that's too English. I would love to find a fondue place. Les Trois Garçons. That means the three brothers. Or the three boys. 3 sons, 3 boys. I think I'm going to stay here.
Whatever you want, man. You didn't eat
St. Alexander Park. That's pretty English too. I thought if I have time, I'm going to go to the park and play my little big xylophone. Yeah, I'm coming a real free spirit. Do what you want when you want. No rules. Merci. It's like what I've been trying to tell everybody all along. It's a really weird life I have, a really weird journey. Every photo I have here in Quebec City, everything is happening on purpose. And then I'm guided to see things. I'm guided to hear music. And suddenly the song means something completely different than it ever used to mean before. It's another dimension, guys, that you can actually live in while you're here on Earth. You can live on another dimension, and you don't have to worry your little souls about what's going on here, because it's a simulation. It's a simulation of fantasy, and the only rule is you've got to use your conscience. Use your conscience. And this is a tequila sunrise. Yeah, I decided if you're going to go out, you may as well go all out and enjoy yourself. I used to have tequila sunrises in a hotel on Broadway in Vancouver, around Broadway and Gravel. I don't know who I thought I was. I was only around 19 or something, but I used to go into the lounges of these hotels by myself. I wasn't a whore. No, I was not. But I would sit there and order a fancy drink. Like, I didn't know who I thought I was, but oftentimes I was alone, just to go in for one. I got that really in my memory, deep in my memory, that I did that I love to do that. And I can't help but wonder if it isn't my emotional spirit remembering, well, I'm given a short end of the stick here this life. I think I was Elvis Presley's mother in another life, and I think I was Mary Queen of Scots in another. And not to mention Jesus' mother, but we won't go there today. You know, I have past life dreams and visions and feelings, and I've always had them. But if you don't know that we are reborn, all of us guys, not just me, we're all reborn time and time again. And if my story's not true, at least I'm telling you, we all pick our roles. And me and my soulmate picked the humdinger roles of life. But each life, it ends up the same. It ends up in the same shambles, and that's because the administration is Satan, and they can't help but be tyrannical when you're of the light. It will be tyrannical for you when you're of the light. When you're a rebel, when you don't go along with the program, when you like to tell the truth. I like to say that I am transparent. I only tell the truth. And no one can see me. Well, there it is. That's my treat today. It's called a black velvet hamburger. A little salad, fries. I won't be able to eat half of it. But I'm going to enjoy myself. And I'm going to walk down to the St. Lawrence River and maybe show you that. A few things around there. This is the busiest year I've seen. It's only like not even mid-June. It's not winter. So yeah, when you meet people that love to talk about blood, love to dissect people, like remember in grade 8, those eyeballs you got handed out in grade 8 science? And they told you, you have to dissect these eyeballs, sheep's eyeballs, for education? How far'd that get you guys? I wouldn't do it. Yeah, I was an enemy of the state all along. Dissecting eyeballs, transferring organs, come on. You guys gotta know it's insane. But you don't. Like you sort of do when you're sleeping, like I was my whole life. I sort of felt like, what? What? They want me to organ donate and put it on my driver's license? What? What are the odds that that'll become an industry in this greedy world? And it did. And it does. And it's a sick thing anyway. We don't need healing. We need good food, fresh air, and a loving mother. And a father who wants to build the world, not a prison. That's what we need, guys. I hope you like the little tour I have you on. I did it, I think, was it last winter? Yes, it was. I did this tour and I lost all my videos. I didn't know how to put them together right, and then I ended up deleting them by mistake. Some shoes in France. That is one thing about Quebec, is they are very stylish. Okay. I'm always fascinated by these mason buildings. Citadel, Chateau. I don't know. I can't remember the name of that building. It's all French to me. I might go back to learning French. I stopped because I felt I wasn't getting anywhere or learning anything. But I noticed today and other days when I'm out recently that I do know words, and I can get my, I can communicate. Oops, excuse me. Did I tell you about the French I knew in grade 8? I failed grade 8 French. Failed everything. But when I got to Quebec City, suddenly 3 phrases popped up in my head. And I knew them. I knew them without anybody telling me nothing. And I'd never thought about it since grade 8. But these are the phrases I learned. I told my subscribers before, but I'll say it again. The 3 phrases that I knew when I came to Quebec were fermez la bouche, which is close your mouth, fous-toi, which is fuck you, and est-ce que tes parents vont bien? That was strange. Like I kept running around saying, est-ce que tes parents vont bien? Est-ce que tes parents vont bien? And I didn't know what it meant. I had to ask somebody. What does est-ce que tes parents vont bien mean? You know what it means, guys? How are your parents doing? That's right. Like I said, everything I've collected in the memory department, in the photo department, and in the journey to talk about is for my new role. My new role this life was Cheryl Ann Grosclose, born in suburbia, working class family, go into the masses, mainstream schools and work lifestyle with my same old spirit, different role. Now, I had a role that was given to me. I was a failure. I was a rebel, instigator. I rocked boats. Got me in a lot of trouble. That was my role. And that's how I felt. I felt like a shitty little person, really. I didn't know why I did what I did. I really didn't know why I did what I did. But it was always out of love for children, the safety of children. It was never to hurt anybody. It's like, hey guys, can't you see something's wrong here? Can't you see what we're watching on TV is filth we're not allowed to look at? Those beams in our pupils are recording a story, your story. And this story is your story now too. Your life is your story. My life is my story. And we get one every 100 years or so. It's narrow streets, eh? We pick roles with a soul group, and we make contracts with each other, and that's why you can't judge anybody. You may have somebody in your soul group who's doing something to test you, or a karma thing, and we are in a cycle of well, we can't go back home. That's the cycle. We can't go home. We can't go to heaven without a heart. No, that's a rule. No lies. No fantasies. In heaven, it's just consciousness of love and truth and everything right. I almost got an apartment in Old Quebec. When I first came, I stayed in an Airbnb in Old Quebec here with a young gal, and I stayed for a month, and I fell in love. Well, I didn't really fall in love. I just said, oh, I'm going to stay here. I didn't know where else to go, and this had the best rents in Canada, actually. At the time, it was the best rents in all of Canada. I didn't know that when I got here. So I've been living in a really nice little 2-bedroom apartment. Not bad for a bankrupt woman on a pension when most people are losing. Going to the streets. Hundreds of thousands in the streets in Vancouver right now. My brother is one of them. I saw his Facebook. Yep, everybody's going homeless in British Columbia. and other places. That's the St. Lawrence River. When I first got, well, for the first few years of being in Quebec, you hear church toll bells all the time. Did you know that's a Jewish tradition? Bell tolling? Now, they're mixing up the all of the religions now. I can see how they're doing it. King James, that was a Bible on its own. It came to replace the Old Testament. That's a fucking fact. And it doesn't belong anywhere near the Old Testament, because Jesus came to debunk it. But now, I just saw The Weakest Link, a television program last night. And you get a lot of clues about the liars on that show by the way they ask questions, by their questions. So one of the questions was, oh my God, I can't remember the question. I can't even remember what I was talking about. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm getting a lot of distraction here, and I'm enjoying my time out. I have to sit down from time to time. I'm a little bit sore today in my muscles. Our power went off last night, and I don't know why. It was no bad weather or anything. So to me, they're upping the radiation in the genocide program in Quebec City. So I don't question why. I just go with my senses and go with what my body wants to do. And right now, it wants to sit down in this little park. I'm going to walk down to some shops, and I'm going to look for a sundress, which I have not bought for myself. I brought 5 dresses with me to Quebec City 5 years ago, and it's time to get a new one. I didn't anticipate going out. That's how I want it. I want to just go on the fly. I want to be a free spirit. I want to do what I want, when I want. And I am. I'm not worried about anything. I have to tell you guys, if you are living on the right path, in truth, you won't have anything to worry about. Nothing. You will always be fed. You will always be sheltered. You will not have a problem. But you can't lie to yourself. And that means if you've been addict or a drunk or a shithead and a homeless person, you gotta stop thinking you're the problem right away. Right away, you gotta stop. You're a feeler if you're going that way. You're a feeler, and there's nothing wrong with feelers. That's how you get in this simulation. But I do think the simulation will be over soon. It will pop. The fantasy will pop when the truth comes out. Trevor's anniversary for crossing over is June 28th, 2003, exactly 20 years ago this June. And I put a notice in the Vancouver Sun and Province for my family to all see. Ha ha ha. I hope they see it. But they're living in a fantasy of thought. It's just their thoughts from words that people gave them, and then they form perceptions, and everything's a big fight all the fucking time. It's a fight, fight, fight. And doubting everybody's intentions, and nobody's being honest with one another, and everybody's afraid of being found out because they're a bunch of greedy perverts. They were created that way in suburbia. And I came into, like, my last name is Grosclose, right? And we are from Virginia. 250 years ago in 1750, we arrived in Virginia. That was the Peter Grosclose story. And then all of the family down since then. And so I got a bird's eye view into my own family, into what's going on in families. It's all a big secret. Everything's hidden. People say they're fine, and they're not fine. And when you start hiding your feelings, you could go into bad obsessive thoughts. You could go right into a bad fantasy of thinking. So the only way you can recover yourself is to have thoughts that are your own, or your guides, like listen to your own thoughts. If they come from TV or education, I'd dump them. Especially if they're not working for you. If they're working for you, great. I believe there are many people in the fifth dimension living here on Earth. They're having a heyday, a good life in the simulation. Now, there could be reasons for that. It could be because they never fell for the trap in the Garden of Eden, or it could be the karma's been paid out. The cycle is over. They're not going to be born again. But you know, I try to use my senses as much. I'd be aware of my senses in what I eat, what I see, what I feel, everything. It's got to be with love and appreciation. If it's not with love and appreciation, then you won't remember it. It'll be an empty, blank slate, nothing. Without emotion. And appreciation is emotion. It's a feeling of appreciation. Gratitude is not a feeling. It's a thought somebody gave you to be grateful for your morsels. Okay, I'm going to walk down there now. Well, I'm sort of lost. It's the best way to be. You can discover things when you're lost. When I first arrived, I'm not going to lie, I had a lot of fear. I was all by myself. My family were behind me. Son was dead. I don't know the language. I don't know why I'm here. I didn't know I was Cheryl Ann Grosclose for a reason. That's a nice house. Patio out there. I don't know, it looks like I went into a kind of seedy part of town down there. I don't think I want to do it. But it is downhill. And that's not. I'm fairly certain that a lot of these buildings down here by the fort, see that stone wall, it looks like it's been redone, is a fort. Cannons. I think those housing were for, I don't know, soldiers or something. Cannons everywhere, pointing out to the St. Lawrence River. Keep the enemy at bay. Something just came to me as I was sitting here about karma. And I wanted to say it out loud, so I'll tell you guys. I believe that there is a karmic part to our consciousness, and I have woken up. I cannot imagine myself ever being a piece of shit to anybody deliberately, right? I can't imagine being greedy, and I can't imagine being a pervert to anybody. But I did see my life movie, and I saw what I did. I saw the whole problem was my intuition was gone, and I acted as if I wasn't seeing things, and I was seeing things. And I pushed away thoughts that were truth. To deny the truth, you're going to expect a bad karma come back. And I think that part of this thing Trevor did with the beings of light to show me my movie was to also show my karmic debt is paid in full. It's very bold to say that. I find everything to do with the churches satanic. I just walked by this Monastery des Augustines. It's a monastery. Looks pretty freaking fancy. I seem to be walking in the opposite direction of shops. Hotel du Quebec. So I'm going to shut my phone down and focus. Otherwise I won't get anything done and I'll run out of air. Got me a summer dress, guys. Oh, there's nothing better than people watching on a Sunday afternoon in Old Quebecville. There is such a good variety. So I'm gonna start heading home. I think my cat has been alone for 3 hours without me. It's long enough. Very strange. You don't see any homeless in Quebec. They're certainly not lying around the sidewalks like they are in British Columbia and other places. I just see there are some panhandlers. The other thing I don't notice in Quebec a lot of are native Indians. That is really weird, I find. I never rarely see native Indians. And now I see one, and she's a panhandler. Go figure. I'm gonna go give her $5. I'm too tired to go anywhere. It's all about perception when you go and blow money like I did today. You go and buy a $50 lunch, a dress, cost $80 including tax, $5 to the Indian lady. Guess how much that costs? 1 carton of cigarettes. And that is motivating me even more. I'm going to go to the bus stop now. Bye. Okie doke. Waiting for a taxi now. I'll just hang up from my phone, from my video, and remind everybody that I am transparent. I identify transparency in the truth, and I am invisible. So it works. Transparent. Why don't you do that too? Tell people, you know, you truth tellers like me. Don't be afraid to tell the truth. Don't be afraid of anybody when you're telling the truth. Bonne journée from Quebec, Ville.